Hi, what is your name and what do you do?
Hi, my name is Djoari. I'm from Burkina Faso. I'm an entrepreneur and a financial consultant with a 10-year work experience in France, United States, and Burkina Faso, where I'm currently living.
What was your life like before you moved back to Burkina Faso? Because you mentioned that you were in France and the States. What was your life like before then?
I love my life. I love my life in the US. I had a pretty good life. Actually, I always dreamed to live in the US. Before leaving the US, I was living in France. I was working in the financial market. So basically, in the US, had a really great package, a really good life. Like I travel a lot, like a lot. Had enough money, to chill and hang out with friends without thinking about how much money uh, I'm gonna have for the rest of the month. I had enough money, to buy some gifts, some stuff for my friends and family as soon as I was paying them a visit. So pretty much I was good. I was doing good.
And professionally, what kind of work were you doing? And I understand, or were you educated in France and then moved back and moved to the States, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah, so basically, I was a financial analyst for hedge fund. I was doing pricing and valorization for hedge fund, on a daily basis, like calculate the P&L for the fund, balance sheet, all the financial statement that they need, and also dealing with the market to see if everything was right for all the the share that were in the portfolio.
great. So you mentioned you had the great life in the States, great opportunity, the job was great, you could travel, money
Hmm.
was not an issue. What were the top
Hmm.
frustration? Why would you leave that great life that a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people dream about, to come back to Burkina Faso?
All right, that's a very good question. Um, I always been a doer. Uh, I like to solve problem, and I was living in a environment where everything was already set up. At work, everything that I was doing, my boss when you just we just came to me and say, hey, I need you to do this and that, and I was doing it and I was liking it, but something were missing. Something was missing, and as I was I am a doer, and I wanting to be in an environment where I can use my experience and skills, to save problem, and to tackle opportunities. Africa was just the place to be for me. And in addition to that, when I had the chance to live in Burkina Faso when I was a kid, and uh, this was just the best year of my life. And when I left Burkina Faso, had no contact with Burkina again, and I started a new life in France. So Burkina Faso has always been part of me, and somehow I just needed to reconnect it. And so when I start reconnecting with Burkina Faso, traveling back and forth, uh, something happened. So it was, let's say, the combination of those two reasons. One, I'm a doer. Two, I wanted to reconnect with Burkina Faso. That that was a trigger for me, to decide to go back to Africa.
So you decided to move back. Now you're in Burkina Faso. You are the creator, the founder, and the CEO of Burkina Action. Can you touch on what Burkina Action is, its mission and its vision. Where do you see it in 20 years versus where it is today?
All right. That's a very good question. First of all, Burkina Action, it's a teamwork. It's a work of five people who strongly believe of the power of togetherness. We originally we shared this idea that if if we stick together, if we share experience, if we use our skills to do things together, we will create something new and something that would be useful for all of us. So basically, Burkina Action, it's a global network of Burkinabe living in Burkina Faso, but also within people within the diaspora and everyone that have interest in Burkina Faso. We like I said, we use our experience and skills to create and innovate in entrepreneurship, employment, and mentoring. We do work a lot with the students. When it comes to our vision, um, I'm not afraid to say that we want to change the game. We want to create a system where all of us, no matter where you're from, who you are, who your parents are, uh, etc., etc., you will have the chance, to do whatever you want to do and to become whoever you want to become. That's our main goal. That's our main objective. And yeah, this is our dream. We want to change the game.
Perfect. So you mentioned the mission, you mentioned where you're looking to go. One of the tactics that you're using in order to fuel that power and to get to what you get trying to get to is essentially funding, right? You're able
Hmm.
to secure some funding from large institutions, private institutions. We'll get to that during the workshop itself, but really what I want to touch on is you've gotten some funding already. Can you touch, sorry, on what you've been able to do with the funding in terms of impact? Really trying to get a sense of you've got X amount of money. This is what I've done. And also, how old is Burkina Action again?
Burkina Action is 4 years old.
Okay, so within the past 4 years, right? Can you touch on the impact that you've gotten and what you've been able to do with the funding you received or you're able to raise?
Okay, all right. So what we've been doing for the past for the past year, we've been organizing a lot of events, to create our network. So basically, we did some event in Europe, in Africa, in North America. We went to all Burkinabe living in the diaspora, but and also in the continent, so we can create the network. So I would say the first 3 years we did our foundation, right? And last year we start raising some funds. I forgot to mention we start with our own money. Okay, we invest our own money, and we also use our own money and the money we raise with a private institution to create a program which is called Wagajob Challenge. And this program basically is a program where we help, I would say, students and young professionals to get a job. So we help them doing their resume. We help them preparing their interview. We help them, get to know better about them and how they can sell themselves during an interview. Yeah, so we did all this work for them to have better chance to get a job.
So your goal for that program is to help them get a job. Did you actually get any jobs?
Absolutely. So 400 people. We received 400 people that wanted to participate in the program. Okay, and we selected 50 people for the first part of the program, and then we did another selection of 20 people. Okay, those 20 finalists, I would say, how for those 20 finalists, our mission was to help them actually get a job, and 15 people over those 20 get a job through this program.
Okay, that's pretty good ratio. Fantastic. Um, Now, I'm curious to know, can you give us an order of magnitude of the amount that you're able to raise? Are we talking about 5 million? Are we talking about 50? Are we talking about 5,000?
To be honest, it depends on where you stand. This year, we wanted to raise 100K, but we are currently preparing a new fundraising for next year. That would be between 300 and 500,000 euro. So depending of which stage you are in your organization, and the value and the value and impact you want to create, uh, all those funds are available anyway. There are so many organizations that have a lot of money ready to invest in organizations that are doing a great job in Africa. So no matter depending of how much you need, you will find them on the market.
So
Could yeah.
just to be clear, are we talking about investors who want to stake in your company, or are we talking about um, uh, I don't know what the technical term is, but charity? People will say, "Hey, we support you. We're going to give you. We're going to watch your program. We're going to give it to you. You guys do. We don't want to manage. We don't want no stake, no ownership in your organization." Which one?
We, now we're talking about NGO that want to invest. That not really. I mean, it's a type of investment, but they want to, like, they have fund available for you, to use it to create a value and impact with what you are doing.
Okay, so they don't want to stake in the company. They don't want to control it. They just want to support you.
Yeah, they just want to support you. But when it comes to investors, they also they are there also. There are plenty of investors that are ready to invest in Africa, in company, in startup that are doing great thing. And I know some of them because I work with a lot of entrepreneurs, and they're ready to invest. But most of the time, the the project we are working on, the startup we are currently creating, are not big enough
Okay.
to absorb the money. So we have to dream big if you want to attract those investors, because they have big tickets.
So to be clear, there are two types of investors. The ones who want to stake in your company, you try traditional angel VCs and all these guys. And there's another
Hmm.
set who are basically slash sort of NGOs who basically have funds to support the development or whatever your idea, who will obviously they will go through some due diligence, but they don't want to stake in your company, they don't want to control it, they just want to give you to support you. Those are two options, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely. They,
gotcha.
they just want to create impact, in our countries, and they're ready to, to put some money on it.
Perfect. And the ones that you've dealt with, which one of the two are they? Those who want to help you create impact, or those who want to stake in your company?
The one that want to create impact.
Just to make sure I clearly understand it, I can today move back home wherever I am from on the continent, start my movement, my organization, my business essentially, and follow your model, right? Maybe have a little bit of fun to get started, and
Hmm.
then use those funds to scale, go raise those funds, go reach out to those companies, and essentially scale my vision, my idea to for more impact. Is that what I'm hearing?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are currently using those funds, to scale. But at the end of the day, we're gonna create some real companies that will make money in order to support our organization. Because as we are non-for-profit, but still we need to create some big big and profitable company that will make money to support our fund. Because you know getting money from those organizations, or those people, it's a good start. But at the end of the day, you need to create a system where you can make your own money. You cannot depend on those institutions all the time. This is just to scale.